Yo, sometimes life calls for a change. Not fake, just different. It'll show you a different way. And right now, I'm on my different way. I can promise you this is the same Spann, but the reporting is over. I'd like to welcome you to the Mrs. Spann official podcast. Let's go. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Mrs. Spann official podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Spann, and this is episode number 17B of the show, man. We tried to get this shit cracking last week, and we had some issues, man. This mixer here, this fucking roadcaster I got here, decided to take a shit on us, man. We had to figure out a way to like make this thing do what it was supposed to do and whatnot. And like I had to figure that out. And you know, I figured it out. It's working. Like hopefully it'll stay working. But yo, man, we had to figure that shit out, man. And I didn't get a chance to finish recording episode 17 last week because of this, man. I mean, I want the sound quality of this show to be epic. I want it to at least be good, man. I don't want to put out no bullshit sound quality ass podcast, man. I mean, I know a lot of people don't care, but your man Spann cares. Spann cares, man. I care about y'all's ears, man. I want y'all to be like, yo, man, Spann, that shit sounded terrible in my system, dog. I can't listen to your shit no more. We don't need that sort of thing to be happening right now, man. Like, cause I want y'all to listen to your boy, right? I want y'all to listen to your boy. So we got to make sure the shit sounds good, man. And so that's what it was, man. I haven't been able to really get down and on this mic the way that I want to because the mixer took a shit, but we figured it out and it's working right now. Hopefully it doesn't take a shit and I don't have to figure out another way to get this, this episode out to you guys. But that's what happened, man. That's what happened. But of course, I got to remind you guys how to get in touch with us over here at the Mrs. Spann official podcast and let your voice be heard. You can go ahead and hit us up at our hotline at area code 313-288-0485. That's area code 313-288-0485. Leave us those voicemail messages. And of course, those voicemails will get played here and responded to here live on the show. You can also hit us up while we're doing this show live, man. You know, you could do that, right? Because I'm doing the show live right now. If you listen to my voice right now, like right now, I'm live right now. You can call into the show right now and talk some shit with your boy, right? Area code 313-288-0485 and chop it up with your man Spann while we're doing this show, right? So I really hope folks take advantage of that. Real talk. Also, hit us up on our email at feedback@thespannreport.com. That's feedback@thespannreport.com. You can go ahead there, leave us some emails, and of course we will read those emails here and reply to those emails here live on the show, man. That's how we do it over here, right? Follow your man Spann on on just about everything, man. I'm on X, which used to be Twitter. It's at Mrs. Spann. I'm on Spill. I don't even really use an iPhone, but I'm on Spill, man. It's Mr. Spann over there too. And I'm on Threads. I'm on Threads and shit. So you can go ahead and follow your man Spann on Threads at Mr. Spann, right? There's a Mr. Spann fan page on Facebook, man. Like there's a bunch of different ways you can get at your boy. I'm Mr. Spann on Instagram, man. It's Mr. Spann all across the board, right? So go ahead and follow your man Spann on all those platforms. Chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week, man. We talk about a little bit of everything. I've been like in some diaspora wars lately on the social media. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Right? We'll talk about it a little bit later. But yeah, we've been on some diaspora wars lately, man. It's like the world hates America. Like the world hates us. And I'm not necessarily like the most patriotic nigga in the world, but like, yo, they hate us, bruh. And it's crazy. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, so we got that going on. Also, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and or Spotify, man. iTunes and or Spotify. Those 5-star reviews are the ones that get right here live in the show. We really appreciate everybody who goes about the business of doing that. Doesn't cost you a dime, just a couple minutes of your time to let everybody know why you're rocking with us over here at the Mrs. Spann Official Podcast and the Spann Report Podcast Network, right? Also, go to our website at www.thespannreport.com. You can go there, watch replays of the show. You can vote in the polls. We decide to put those polls up. You can donate to the show as often as you like, as much as you like. And of course, we appreciate every dime over here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast and the Spann Report Podcast Network. Also, you can go to the store, man. Cop yourself some merch, man. You know your man Spann got the fresh and the crispy Mr. Spann Official Podcast t-shirt, man. I'm rocking it right now, man. It look nice, man. Y'all don't know, boy, your boy looking good. Your boy looking good. No, but yeah, man, we appreciate everybody who patronizes the show and supports us in that way, man. Real talk. Thank you so much for all of you who will do that and who have done that and will do that in the future, right? So yeah, we got that going on. Now, it's been a couple weeks, man, since your man Spann and hit the mic, man. The last time I talked to y'all was probably like at the beginning of the month, right? And that's because as a matter of fact, I was on the mic with y'all the night before I hopped on a plane to go to New Orleans, man. Now, y'all know your man Spann loves the city of New Orleans, man. I love the town, man. Love the town, love the culture, love the food, love the drink, nigga. Right? Love the culture, love the food, love the drink, but it was hot than a son bitch down there, bruh. I mean, every day it was 100. It was 100 down there every day. And then y'all know, like, New Orleans, man, for those of you who have been in New Orleans, man, New Orleans got like a lot of humidity and shit. So not only is it already like the temperature is already high, but then you got the humidity leaning down on you, like what's up, bro? How you doing? It's like the city hugs you, like literally hugs you as soon as you land on the bus. As soon as you get out of the airport, man, it's like, hey, what's up, man? How you been, man? I ain't seen you in a little while, bro. You wasn't here last year, bro. What happened? You know what I'm saying? So like you had that going on, but you know, my wife and I, we got married down there in New Orleans. There's a Red Dress Run event that goes down there in New Orleans, man, and we go down there every year. We try to get down there every year for that. I saw my sis Cook down there in New Orleans, man. She had a baby girl down there on the Bourbon Street, man. I don't know, Cook, baby. I don't know, man. You know, it's kind of wild down there on Bourbon, man, especially after a certain time. You know what I'm saying? But like, yo, man, it was a real good time. I always love going down there. I have a good time, man. It was hell on my diet, though. It was hell on my diet, man. Y'all know my doctor gave me some orders and whatnot. I need to change my diet or whatnot. I just knew when I went down to New Orleans, it was like, hey, bro, like that diet ain't gonna last this trip. It's just not. You know, you can't go down there and not eat shrimp and grits, nigga. I mean, you can't go down there and not have the boudin balls, man. You can't do that. You can't go down there and not have the fucking crawfish etouffee. Like, who goes down to New Orleans and not have crawfish etouffee? Like, what is wrong with you? What are you doing with your life? You know what I'm saying? So like, yo, man, red beans and rice, right? Like red beans and rice, man. Who goes to New Orleans and does not get the red beans and rice, man? Who goes down there and not get the catfish, right? Who goes down there and not eat alligator? Man, I had an alligator and like an alligator sausage omelet. The shit was delicious, right? And you know, I had an opportunity too to we had an opportunity to go do some stuff that we hadn't done before, right? So your man Spann was ziplining, man. That was fun. The thing about it though, we had like this really young dude who was like showing us how to do it, and he's doing like all sorts of tricks and shit with the zip line and stuff. And I'm like, hey, bro. This is when I really leaned into being an uncle, man. This is when I really leaned into it. This motherfucker go on the zip line and he's like he's hanging from the shit upside down with his feet clasped together like Spider-Man and shit. And he was like, yeah, man, you could do that. And I'm just like, nigga, no, that's not what I'm doing, bro. I'm 43 years old. Your man Spann is not. I said, your man Spann is not doing that kind of shit, bro. I mean, I'm going to let go of the rope. Like, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I can let go of the rope, you know, because I'm strapped in and everything. I could do that. You know, it's like a real close thing to flying. You know what I'm saying? But we was like zip lining over the swamps and shit, man. Like, it's alligators in them goddamn waters, man. They're like, yo, it's like legit. Like, yo, I just hope this shit don't let go. Right, while your man Spann is en route to the next point. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't need that shit happening, and I wouldn't even be here right now to be talking shit with y'all right now. But yo, man, it was a really good time, man. We did that shit. There was a couple museums we went to go check out, man. Some really dope museums about the, like, not only just like the music, but the culture and the history of New Orleans, man. It was a good time, man. It was a really good time, and I always enjoy myself every time I go to New Orleans, man. I hate when I have to leave New Orleans, but you know, bills got to be paid and things got to get taken care of back here at the crib, man. So we did do that, right? And you know, after that, you know, just been lifing and shit. life and stuff, man. Your man Spann still, health issues, man. Like I got sick the other night, man. I was supposed to get on the mic. What was that, Sunday night or something like that? I was supposed to get on the mic, and like, I've been trying to do my health food kick, right? I tried to get my diet back in order since I came back home from New Orleans. So I'm trying to get shit back right. So I got like this chicken Caesar salad, and I'm like, man, doc said I need to stay away from the red meats and whatnot. So let me go ahead and get on this chicken Caesar salad. But I don't know, man. That chicken Caesar salad did not agree with your boy, man. Did not agree with your boy. I was on the couch curled up like a baby, man. Curled up like a baby. Like I felt like I wanted to throw up, but I didn't quite feel like I wanted to throw up. It was like that purgatory of throwing up. It's bad, man. It's bad. Eventually I did though. Eventually I had to purge that shit from my body, man. It had to come. Something had to give, and it finally gave, but it gave at like 3:00 in the goddamn morning, man. It was bad. It was bad. So, yeah, man. Like I said, I wanted to get on the mic and do this shit here a lot sooner than I have. But, like I said, life be life and whatnot, man. So I'm glad that we can do this and get on this mic tonight and talk this shit and get these things off my chest, man, because there's been a lot of things going on, man. I've been wanting to kind of speak to, but I haven't really had a chance to speak to, right? Now, one of the things, though, let's keep this thing light. We're going to start off on something light, though, right? Because, every now and again, you find some things on the social media that kind of make you chuckle, right? So we're gonna start this thing off light. I want y'all to laugh with your boy. So let me do this here. I'm gonna share my screen because y'all gotta see this too, man. This is some adorable shit, but also it's almost on some like kids are goddamn savages, right? Kids are goddamn savages. So y'all gotta see this, man. I saw this on Twitter. I thought this was hilarious, right? And y'all get a chance to watch this right along with your boy. Let me go ahead and maximize this here. Yeah, check this out, y'all. I thought this was hilarious.
Show me. Nice. Which one of these is the color of...
Okay, and for those of you guys who are watching, not even watching this, but are going to listen to this later, right now, there's a father with his baby girl. They're at the kitchen table, and there's a bunch of different color socks on the table, right? And he's trying to teach his daughter colors, okay? This is what's happening right now.
No, my turn.
Okay.
What is the color of the pig?
The pig?
Yeah.
This one.
You're right.
Yes. Which one's the color?
Pink is the color of the pigs. Make sure you put pink on the movie before you find a pink pig on the far movie.
Also, let me just say this here, right? These kids growing up with cameras in their faces all the time now. Like this girl, like she could be like maybe 2.5, maybe 3 years old. She already has a presence of mind to turn to the camera to tell everybody who's watching on the other end, hey, when you see the color pink, think of a pig, right? She's already got the presence of mind that like, I am being recorded right now and I need to talk to the people. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yep. Which one's the color of a tree? Nice.
Which one is the color of thy feet? No! Yes, you're right, guys! Wow! It's a willow. Yeah, it's a willow.
Yo, these kids are fucking savages, man. She's like, yo, yeah, you're right. Yellow. My daddy's teeth are yellow. That man is so fucking embarrassed right now. He is so embarrassed right now. Meanwhile, the baby like, what? I mean, shit, your TV is yellow. She got her hands like she's like, I mean, what? They yellow, Pops. Like, what you want me to do? Like, the people know. The people can see that your teeth are yellow. I can see that your teeth are yellow. I'm 3 years old. I know your teeth are yellow. He's like, yo, man, this fucked up. It's fucked up.
Color of Charlie's teeth.
It's not willow. Why keep doing that?
Yo, Yo, man, I'm assuming Charlie is the dog because he asked her what the color of Charlie's teeth was, and she just pulled up some white socks, and she was like, "Why you keep doing that? The dog's teeth is white. Your shit yellow though, right?" But one of the things I thought was very interesting about this, right? Because again, your man Spann is a little older. I've been around for a little while now, man. I'm leaning into this uncle vibe, man. I'm really leaning into it, right? And one of the things it made me think of was this commercial from like 1996, man. It was a Colgate commercial about like whitening teeth, toothpaste and shit, right? And there was a teacher who decided that she was going to ask her kindergarten class what color her teeth was, as they too were learning their colors and shit. So let me pull this up because this is a classic, and I couldn't help but think of this when I saw that little girl talking about her pop's teeth. So check this out, y'all. For those of us of a certain age, this is classic.
Good. Okay, what color is the grass? Green. Good. What color is my sweater? Blue. What color are my teeth?
Beige, off-white, stucco, mother of pearl.
No matter how great your smile is, don't you wish it could be whiter? Now it can. Introducing new Colgate Whitening with baking soda.
Okay, see, first thing first, man, when I first saw this commercial years ago, bro, one of the first things I thought was like, yo, that baby girl said, when that lady asked her, what color are my teeth? That baby girl said, beige. I didn't even think kindergartners knew what beige were. Right? But even back then, back in 96, I was 16 years old then. Even then, I was dying. Matter of fact, come on, man. Hold on. We got to go back. What color are my teeth?
What color is my sweater? What color are my teeth?
Beige.
Also, peep the kids like, oh. The babies is like, oh shit, she really gonna ask us that right now? Oh. All right, this shit. She asked for it. Beige, off-white, echo, mother of pearl. Yo, man, this shit. Life comes back at you, man. Life comes back at you. I you know what, man? Like I said, I just thought that shit was hilarious, and I felt like we should start the show off, man. Just kind of laughing on some shit, man. Just kind of getting our fucking giggles and whatnot going on, man. Because I thought that shit was great, real talk. But yo, man, we got that going on. Now, let's get into some of this shit that has happened over the course of the last couple weeks. Some of the things I've been wanting to talk to you guys about, but I haven't had a chance to talk to you guys about because of this fucking roadcaster, like, taking a shit on me and whatnot. But there's some things that have kind of been happening, and I just kind of want to, put my 2 cents on that shit, because that's what your man Spann does. I put my 2 cents on shit, and that's what we're going to do tonight. So, first thing we're going to get to is, Sage Steele. Right. So Sage Steele was a former sports commentator on ESPN. She she found herself catching a little bit of flack because of, some of the things that she not only said on air, or like some of the behaviors that she exhibited on air, but also some of the things that she talked about off air. Right. And a couple years ago, we talked about this I believe, when it happened. Sage Steele found herself in trouble with her employer, ESPN, when she went on, I believe it was the Jay Cutler podcast. I think that was. She went on the Jay Cutler podcast, and she talked about, let me stop sharing that, but she talked about how Barack Obama identified as a black person, right? Now, Sage Steele is, if you didn't know it, Sage Steele looks like a black woman. She just does. She looks like a black woman, right? But every time she gets a chance, she wants to let you know that I'm biracial, right? Because of course nobody would just look at her and know that she was biracial. She has to tell us, right? So, she recently was let go at ESPN. Now she says she walked away, and now she has a chance to like exhibit her First Amendment rights and everything else. It's like, yo, you do know that like you had your First Amendment rights all the time. They were not being curtailed in any way. They couldn't put you in jail for the things that you were saying. They had the opportunity, if they wanted to like get rid of you for some of the things that you were saying, but you were not persecuted in any way by your employer because they still employed you. You still collected a paycheck, and you're not being locked up. And I think one of the things I think is very interesting about those who espouse like being free thinkers and being on the right leaning side of political discourse, oftentimes, man, they think that like disagreement with them is persecution, right? That you are not allowed to disagree with them. And if you disagree with them, then they are now being persecuted because you have said that you disagree with their point of view. They think that they're being persecuted because folks disagree with them. And it's ironic, especially considering how often those on the right would tend to talk about those on the left as being snowflakes, right? That they need safe spaces and all these other things, right? So Say Steele, she went on after she was let go at ESPN. Say Steele went on to an interview with none other than Santa Claus just is white, Megyn Kelly, right? Megyn Kelly. So let me see if I can pull this video up. Oh, Mail Online is like, yeah, you using a ad blocker. Okay, I guess I got to turn my ad blocker off for you. Fuck. Okay, let's refresh this page because, you know. Okay, there is video, I believe, to this. All right, so there isn't any video. I'm going to have to read to you guys. So here we go. We get this from the Daily Mail. Take that as a grain of salt because this is a Rupert Murdoch publication. Say Steele has emotionally discussed the internal turmoil she endured while at the four-letter network after expressing views in direct contravention with his ethos. Steele announced Wednesday that she had settled her case with Disney ESPN and was moving on after 16 years at the Bristol conglomerate. The former Sports Center host sued the network in April of 2022 after claiming that ESPN violated her First Amendment rights and Connecticut free speech laws by suspending her over comments about former President Barack Obama and the COVID-19 vaccine. Steele refused to take the jab and has consistently held views which widely oppose that of the largely vocal, hyper-liberal staff, including Malika Andrews, Elle Duncan, and Sarah Spann, among others. Again, this is the Daily Mail. In her first public interview since acquiring her professional freedom, Steele was visibly emotional discussing the four-letter network and her experiences with Megyn Kelly on SiriusXM. She says, while being interviewed on former NFL quarterback Jay Cutler's podcast, Say Steele made several controversial comments that she says resulted in her being suspended by the network. Steele on ESPN's COVID-19 mandate. Well, I got my shot today. I didn't want to do it, but I work for a company that mandates it, and I have until September 30th to get it done or I'm out. I respect everyone's decision. I really do. But to mandate it is sick. It's one thing with masks, and I don't have a problem with that. It's another thing when you force this. Again, you didn't have to take the fucking shot. If you didn't want to continue to work at ESPN, you could have just said, you know what, man, deuces. I don't want to do this no more. But you decided to take the shot because you wanted to continue to work there. That's what it was. You made a fucking choice. They made you make a choice. Right? Says Steele, who is mixed race, on Barack Obama identifying as African American. I think that's fascinating, considering his black dad was nowhere to be found, but his white mom and grandma raised him. But hey, you do you, I'm going to do me. Now, mind you, what the fact, like Barack Obama, if you looked at him, you would not necessarily know that Barack Obama had a white mother. You wouldn't know he had white grandparents. The reason that we know this is because Barack Obama spoke about them so much, right? So it wasn't like he was denying them. But if we just looked at Barack Obama, we would see Barack Obama as a black man, right? So when people bring up the fact that, Barack Obama not only appears to be a black man, but he identifies as a black man, and then you say, well, that's strange because his black daddy was nowhere around. What the fuck does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Right? What does that have to do with anything? But she found herself in trouble because of these statements. She said, "Steele on sexism suffered by female employees who dress provocatively. When you dress like that, I'm not saying you deserve the gross comments, but you know what you're doing when you put that outfit on too. We need to be responsible as women too. We know what we're doing when we put certain things on." Now, there was a lot of I think there was an interview where I think it was Carrie Champion was talking about how there was a time where she looked up to someone like a Sage Steele, and how Sage Steele was seen as like, yo, she's a black woman or a black appearing woman. She's at the pinnacle of this business. And that's something that I want to aspire to. And here she is, instead of like, yo, giving some sage advice, just like kind of judging the women coming up behind her. Right. And so Sage Steele has been one of those folks who just like, yo, she said some controversial shit and people didn't fuck with her because of it, because she said some slick shit. Not only that, I can remember there was a time where there was I believe it was like an NBA All-Star weekend, like a celebrity All-Star game or something like that. And there was someone who was, they brought up something political, and she just like kind of like shut them down, like shut that whole thing down or whatever. She alleged that Barbara Walters tried to like beat her up. Like, think about that for a second, man. Now think about this. Barbara Walters is dead and gone. And now you get on Megyn Kelly's show and say like, yo, Barbara Walters tried to beat me up because I said that I identify as biracial and all these other things. Like, she's really trying to make this thing seem as though people are denigrating her for being biracial, as if like, yo, if anything, black folks are some of the most accepting people of everybody, right? If you a cool ass white person, guess what, man? Black people fuck with you. If you a cool ass Latino person, guess what? Black people fuck with you. If you a cool ass biracial person, guess what? Black people fuck with you. But if you ain't a cool motherfucker, black people like, get that nigga out of here, man. Get this punk motherfucker up out of here. And so Sage Steele has kind of been on this thing where like, yo, I've experienced most of the racism that I've experienced has been, coming from the black community. It's like, does it have anything to do with some of the slick shit you've been saying publicly about black people and everything? Right? Like, when it comes to like anything that has to do with black upliftment, you seem to have some bullshit to say about it. You somehow like want to denigrate Barack Obama's black experience because his father wasn't around. Right? You want to make sure that you remind us that you got a white mama. Like, there's reasons why black people don't fuck with you, right? But she tried to act as though black people wasn't fucking with her on some like, yo, we just haven't, we got a bias against biracial people. It's like, yo, that's why, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Biracial kids is in the black family, man. Not only are they with the black family, they're with the black family more often than not because the white family would not accept them. Right? So for Sage Steele to can like go on this thing, man, and like act as though she's been, ostracized by the black community. And she went on Twitter and said, yo, the black community called me a sellout because I identify as biracial. Man, ain't nobody black called you no sellout because you identify as biracial. I mean, like real talk. If anybody had anything to say about Sage Steele being biracial, it wasn't black folks, right? Black folks ain't never called this lady no damn sellout. Not a fucking once, because she was biracial. Not once. Now I think what was that? Mark Lamont Hill also like kind of went back and forth with her about this on Twitter, man. And of course, like, here's the ironic thing about all of this, right? And this is something that I think she has to see. She has to see this, but it's also one of those things where like she can't acknowledge that because then it like negates her point. When black people are pushing back on the idea that you were called a sellout because of you being biracial, and then your comments are filled with white people who can't wait to call black people racist, right? All of your cheering squad was white folk. The whole cheering section was white folks who could not wait to talk shit to black people about how they treated this biracial woman who went out of her way to talk shit about other biracial people within the black community. So yeah, man, like that shit kind of happened, man. And I didn't get a chance to speak on it because, like I said, you know, the mixer and shit going, you know, kind of going to shit. But yo, man, I just thought like, yo, man, well, like really just like, wait, what the fuck is going on with this shit here? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got that going on. Now, another thing that we got going on is so there's a presidential primary going on with the Republican Party. Hold on a second while I take this sip. There's a Republican primary going on presidential wise. And one of the rising stars of the Republican Party right now happens to be none other than this one dude, goes by the name of Vivek Ramaswamy, right? Vivek Ramaswamy is, I believe right now he's currently running a distant third behind Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis in the Republican Party, right? He's getting a lot of attention. He's getting a lot of interviews now. And he kind of came on my radar, man, when he showed up on CNN, right? Y'all remember Don Lemon got fired from CNN from after an interview with this guy, right? And the reason why was, you know, Don Lemon was kind of dismissive of him, you know, his personal, you know, he was kind of being dismissive of him personally, kind of like, you know, not necessarily acknowledging his ethnicity and all these other things, kind of dismissive of his ethnicity and whatnot. But one of the things that that I thought was interesting about the entire exchange was that, like, yo, Vivek Ramaswamy was on CNN at that particular time suggesting that the Republican Party and the NRA in particular were champions for black gun rights all throughout the country. And for those of us who know better, that's the
dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No wonder you get D's and everything.
Yeah, man, it didn't make sense, right? And you know, they already had a target on Don Lemon's back. You know, he had already made like the inappropriate comments about women being in their prime and their, you know, in their 20s and 30s or some shit like that. You know, this is some real asinine shit. They were already, the target was already on his back, and they used this particular incident with Vivek Ramaswamy to say, all right, you done punched your ticket, right? So Vivek Ramaswamy has, you know, he's risen among Republicans across the nation, because of some of his far right rhetoric, right? But one of the things that I saw that really turned me on, or turned me against this dude. Not that I was ever considering voting for him. As a matter of fact, I don't think this dude has a snowball chance in hell of even winning the Republican nomination. But one of the things I saw, this was August 6th. This is earlier this month. One of the things I saw that he said was that Juneteenth was a useless holiday. Yeah, let me pull this video up so you guys can watch right along with your man Spann. Hold on just a second while I do this here. And yeah, let's do this. And let's see what this bum ass motherfucker has to say for himself.
Do you think Juneteenth is a useless holiday?
I basically do.
Single day voting on election day. We will make election day a holiday in the United States of America, so there's no complaints about it. Cancel Juneteenth or one of the other useless ones we made up. Okay? We can't have like everything be a holiday, but we'll cancel one of the other ones and make election day a holiday. Paper ballots and government issued voter ID that matches the voter file. That is what we will do.
Going back to your election security plan, you said you wanted to have a holiday. You said maybe cancel Juneteenth or one of those other useless holidays. Do you think Juneteenth is a useless holiday?
I basically do. Yeah.
Do you think Memorial Day, Veterans Day are useless holidays?
I don't, because I stand with the presumption of time-tested traditions. Like I said, religion is I call these things cults. I won't dignify them as religions because religions have withstood the test of time. And so I think that if we made a national commemorative holiday for everything that's important that happened in our history, we'd have no working days left. But I think that the spirit of Juneteenth, we already channel into other holidays, like Martin Luther King Day, like President's Day. I think we can commemorate the spirit of that holiday separately. So I think that we shouldn't have redundant holidays that celebrate overlapping purposes. It should have a distinct purpose. And I think, let's be honest, the reason for making that a holiday was under political duress. It was a political hostage situation on the back of the death of George Floyd. And I think that that should not be how we create holidays. We should not create holidays with a cultural gun to our head. And that's what happened with Juneteenth.
Yeah,
Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel.
Enough! Boy, I've been sick to my fucking stomach watching you imbeciles type things. Stop typing. You niggas are stupid.
That's how I feel about that, right? When I saw that, I swear to God, when I saw that, one of the things I really, y'all think I'm bullshitting, but like if I had an opportunity, Secret Service, don't fuck with your boy. Secret Service, I swear to God, don't fuck with your boy. But when I saw that, this is kind of what I wanted to fucking do. I kind of wanted to do one of these right here. Just let me pull this up because this is what he deserves. Just ow. Hold on, because that shit froze on y'all. Y'all got to get the full effect of this. Hold on, it froze, but y'all got to see this. Ow! Damn it!
Ow! Oh, this is your fault.
Yeah, man. I want punch this motherfucker in the fucking face, bro. Punch him. Like Vivek Ramaswamy has such a punchable face. He really does. Like he's a smarmy, know-it-all ass motherfucker who don't really know shit at the same time, sort of motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like here's the thing. He was so like smarmy and like dickish at the Republican like debate and shit. Like you know how fucking dickish you gotta be to get what's my man name? Mike Pence to be like, hey, we don't need no damn on the job train. Mike Pence trying to get smarmy with his ass right back, right? But like he's galvanizing Republican voters. Now, like I said, I really don't think he's gonna win a nomination. He's got a snowball chance in hell, mainly because he's brown, right? This is something I think, our brown, Asian, our Southeast Asian, Indian, like those folks who like kind of lean into this whole thing of, or like, yo, I can identify as white, I can lean into this whiteness, but like truth be told, these white people don't fuck with me. Right? I can lean into that, but they don't really fuck with me like that. I can say all of the things that they really want to say, but they can't say because if they say it, it comes across as racist. But if I say it, it comes across as conservatives. Like, no, bitch, it's racist when you say it too. Right? And like, so I swear to God, every time I see Vivek Ramaswamy on my goddamn TV, I just want to just like, every time, bro, because he elicits that sort of fucking passion out of, at least he elicits that passion out of me, right? Now, like I said, I don't need the Secret Service, coming to talk to your boy later. You know what I'm saying? I'm really talking like, I'm talking. I'm not threatening this motherfucker. Chances are me and this dude being in the same room at the same time is slim to none, right? Because I'm not going to no Republican goddamn events or anything like that. If that motherfucker actually showed up at someplace where I was at, chances are I would realize I'm in the wrong goddamn room, right? I'm not supposed to be there. But, however, if Vivek Ramaswamy showed up like at my door on some campaign shit, I don't know. Hey man, get your bitch ass off my porch, right? He showed up at a barber shop on the south side of Chicago a few years ago. Not a few years ago, a few weeks ago. And I remember I saw this video I saw it because there was this young lady on YouTube. I believe she's like the Bahamian girl or something like that. She's not from here, and like she was talking as though like Vivek Ramaswamy, because he went to this South Side of Chicago barbershop, made himself look good. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like everything this man espouses about the black community, especially native black Americans here. And I don't want to get on some foundational black American shit because them niggas is crazy too. But I'm saying like his comments are, if you aren't in the know, are very fucking.
Sorry, man.
There we go. Ow, there we go. Ow. That's how I want to put Vivek Ramaswamy. That's
this is your fault. You limey the money bed, my.
Yeah, man. I should have had my my computer plugged in low. Like I'm on the Wi-Fi right now. That's probably why that shit was buffering the way that it was. But yeah, man. Like she's talking like, yeah, he looks really good. Like he came to where most Republicans wouldn't go, and he really talked to the people. Like, yeah, if you could talk to the people, but if you talking some bullshit, you know, what good is it doing, right? And I think oftentimes, man, you know, folks don't really give black Americans, especially like urban black Americans, the credit that we deserve for being as politically astute as we are, right? You know, they think we just voting Democratic because we just want to vote Democratic. It's like, nah, black folks are largely voting Democratic because the Democratic Party is speaking to the things that we need, right? Or speaking to the policies that we lean into. The Republican Party has shown us time and again, they don't give a fuck about us, right? Now, I say that to say though, because I got a larger point going as far as some of the things that I want to talk to you guys about tonight when it comes to the political rhetoric, and also how we absorb some of this politics and how we absorb some of this news and how we absorb some of this information, and how much of it is algorithm driven, how much of it is propaganda driven, and also how we are to decipher what is what, right? How we are to decipher what is what, because what I've seen lately though, right? So, you know, 2016 was a really big year for misinformation, disinformation, and things like that, right? Big year for that sort of shit. I feel as though, because the election is coming up next year for president, that a lot of these entities are ramping themselves up for another run, right? They're throwing a whole bunch of shit at us. They're throwing a whole bunch of misinformation at us. And I talked to you guys. I can't remember if I said this a couple weeks ago, but I talked to you guys about like how sometimes I would talk to some of the guys that I work with, and how easily misinformation just kind of becomes a thing that they just accept and like just kind of suck up, right? I don't know. I think there was this one particular thing that kind of came up. I'm deviating here, but follow me. There was this one thing that came up a couple weeks ago. I was, at work with the fellas and whatnot, and we were just kind of, chatting about some shit. And one of the things that came up was there was a story about if you live in California and you move away from California, that the state of California was entitled to collect income taxes from you, even though you didn't live in California, for the next 10 years. So I kind of came in on the tail end of the conversation, but I'm listening. And, when I figured out what they were talking about, I said, first thing I asked them, where'd you get that shit from? Right. Right. And I think it's partially because of what I do here with the Spann Report, or the Spann Report Podcast Network, but the Mr. Spann Official Podcast. But like, because I've been doing this for so long, I'm cognizant of sourcing. I'm cognizant of where this information is coming from, because although I'm not a journalist, I'm a pipe fitter by fucking, I make my living fitting pipes, man, and laying pipe. Like, not that kind of pipe, but, you know, I could, never mind. I'm going off on a tangent. But yeah, I'm a pipe fitter by day, right? But I take pride in, like, not getting on this microphone, selling y'all or telling y'all some bullshit. And if if my sourcing is kind of shaky, I will let y'all know, hey man, take this shit with a grain of salt. This is where I'm getting it from. As we did earlier with the Daily Mail. Hey, I got this from them. Take this from what take from it what you want, but we ain't really rocking with them like that because they kind of shaky on their credibility and everything else, right? So, first thing I ask dudes, where y'all get this shit from, right? First thing these dudes tell me is, I got it from the internet. Okay, where on the internet did you get it? Nobody can say anything, right? Now, one of them slipped up though, and he said, well, you know, that Gavin Newsom over in California, he's a communist and shit. And I'm just like, okay. I know where you got this shit from, right? I know where you got this shit from. You got this from some conservative sort of leaning like website or news channel or whatever else, right? But I didn't leave it there. You know, your man Spann is prone to look shit up. Right? Because I want to know. We all walking around with supercomputers in our goddamn pockets. I need to know. So apparently California is taxing niggas even though niggas ain't even living in California no more for the next 10 years. How that work, right? So I looked it up. And apparently this particular law that they were talking about was a law where they were really talking about businesses. For one, they were talking about businesses, but they were also talking about people who gross at least, wait for this, y'all. Wait for this. $30 million a year. $30 million. Now, listen, you know, as pipe fitters, you know, we make a pretty decent living, man. I mean, I can't really knock, you know, the way I live. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of guys make a lot of, you know, we do a lot of overtime, you know, something we get some bonus money and whatnot, man. We live in pretty decent lives. But listen, man, ain't none of us making no motherfucking $30 million. None of us. So I'm looking at these niggas and I'm like, yo, so y'all mad that a motherfucker that makes $30 million a year is going to get taxed when you not going to make $30 million in your fucking life doing this shit? Are you serious right now? Like, this is really what y'all meant. Y'all really discussing this as though this is some shit that you going to confront. That you gonna be out here like, yo, man, you know, shit, this goddamn Gavin Newsom, man, he got his hand in my goddamn pocket, man. Like, nigga, you are never gonna see $30 million in your life doing this shit. You might come close to $1 million or $2 million, right? You know, because, you know, $100,000 a year or whatever. Like, you might come close to $1 million or $2 million, maybe even $3 million if you do this shit long enough and you've been, you know, you start young enough and everything else. But nigga, you ain't never seeing $30 million a year. This is something you ain't never got to worry about. Why are you niggas upset at this? Right? But if, like, the thing that's funny about it is that if you present this as though this is some everyday man shit and you don't read past the headline and you don't actually look this shit up, you don't know. All you know is, hey, if I move to California and then I decide to move away from California, they get to tax me for the next 10 years. That don't even apply to your $100,000 ass. That don't apply to your $75,000 a year ass. That don't apply to your $50,000 a year ass. Like, that don't apply to none of us regular folk. This is for the people who are like these niggas, they not gonna even miss this fucking money. And y'all here your blue collar ass is mad that somebody gonna get taxed for leaving a state where they making $30 million a year. Something that'll never touch you. And this is one of those things, man, where it's, you just kind of wonder, man, like, yo, oftentimes, man, I feel alone in the world. I'm not going to even front to y'all. Like, I feel alone in the world because I'm like, yo, I'm looking at shit in a certain way. And it's not to say that I'm special, because I'm not. But when I'm out amongst the regular, like when I'm out on my everyday shit and and we discussing these sorts of things, like, and I see how easily misinformation is being swallowed, right? I'll give you another example. Michael Jordan recently just sold the Charlotte Hornets for, I believe it was like $3 billion, right? $3 billion. I forget exactly how much he bought it for. Hold on just a second. Hey, Google, how much did Michael Jordan buy the Charlotte Bobcats for?
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Okay. She don't know, but she just told me he spent $180 million, right? $180 million. Michael Jordan spent $180 million. Okay, shut up. Right? So Michael Jordan spent $180 million buying the Charlotte Bobcats, who then later became the Charlotte Hornets. He sold that team for $3 billion. That's a hell of a goddamn markup, right? A hell of a markup. Now, I'm at work and I'm talking to some of the guys at work. And one of the stories that kind of came up was like, man, shit, you know what I heard? Shit, Michael Jordan is in debt. He sold the Charlotte Hornets because he owed somebody for like gambling off of golf. And he had to sell the team in order to pay his tab back. And I'm like, nigga, what? Right? Like, nigga, what? Now, off top, niggas know I'm from Chicago. They know I'm a Bulls fan. So, like, when they say anything about Michael Jordan or something like that, they figure, like, yo, they're not going to even take what I say about it seriously because they're like, yo, you a fan. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not going to accept this. I'm like, nah, that shit sound crazy. Right? So you mean to tell me that this man who bought that team for $180 million, who is worth over $3 billion already, who sells Jordans year after year after year after year, retro after retro after retro after retro. You mean to tell me that that guy is in the hole to somebody else so much so that he got to sell his squad for $3 billion? Make that shit make sense. Like, just make it make sense, right? And so then I ask again, where you get that from? Niggas is like, the internet. Okay, where at on the internet? And then this is where they start leaning into the you know, like you like some of these sports blogs and shit like that. Not some reputable spot like, you know, Clutch Sports maybe, or like Outkick Sports or some shit like that. But like, it's not from someplace reputable. But they saw it on the internet and then they just run with it. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous, man. Right? So I say all of this to say there's this we got some other shit going on in the world that we should really be paying attention to. And we should really be careful on where we are getting this information from and how we are consuming information, being mindful of the sourcing of where we're getting this information, because so much bullshit is about to like deluge our social media feeds, whether you on X, which formerly Twitter, Threads, Facebook, TikTok, you know, shit. South Africans believe that the United States doesn't even have goddamn internet banking because of some shit they seen on TikTok. Trust me, I was on Twitter arguing with these like, nigga, who told y'all we don't have internet banking? Where'd y'all get this shit from? Right? I had a South African asking me, hey, so do you, when you get paid from your job, do they instantly go to your checking account? Like, yes, nigga. Like, what? Who told you we don't have direct deposit? Who told you that I can't transfer money from one bank account to the next one? Who told you this shit? I got it from TikTok. Right? People are not being scrupulous. They are not. What's the word that I'm fucking looking for here right now? People are not really scrutinizing where they're getting their information from. They will see a headline, they will see a video, and they will run with that. And that is all they need. That is all they need. And for a minute, I thought it was just something that was generational, right? For a minute, I thought it was generational. But there's this one young man on TikTok who gives me hope, right? Who gives me hope. So you guys know there was a wildfire in Hawaii. And one of the things that happened was, unfortunately, there was a lot of misinformation going on about, the aid that was being handed out to Hawaii. But not only that, like how the fire even started and all these other things, right? But one of the things that I thought was very interesting was he basically called out one of the really popular like social media blog sites. I see them all over like Twitter. I see them all over Instagram. Spill, like the people over at Spill, like, y'all, we don't even want you here, right? But he was in reference to the Shade Room, right? I see folks sharing Shade Room articles all the time. Right. I'll see a Shade Room, link or whatever. I'll watch a video or two, but very seldom do I just like, I'm ratting like the Shade Room got the news on this one. Right. And there was this young man. I don't know how old he is, but he methodically kind of broke down the bullshit that was the Shade Room. And I feel like he deserves a bit of a highlight. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this video up so you guys can, let me take that down. So you guys can see what I saw, because I like I said, I believe this young brother deserves to be highlighted. So let's see. Let me pull this up, and let's see what he's talking about, y'all. Check this out.
Black community. Oh no, what the Shade Room do? Stick with me, because this is actually insane. I know we've all heard about it at this point. Joe Biden announced a $700 payment to the families who are affected by the fires that have happened recently in Maui. And before I continue, as the number of lives that have been claimed by this fire continue to rise, I hope we can all understand how much a threat climate change is. My sincerest condolences go out to everybody who's been affected by the fires, and I hope for a speedy recovery for the entire state of Hawaii. I don't have thoughts and prayers because we need action. We've been needed action. With all that being said, let's talk about what is true and what isn't true, and why this discourse is making me literally nauseous. So if you aren't aware that the Shade Room is right-leaning, I don't know what the fuck you've been living under. Trump, or the top Republican that they're considering to be president again, mind you, just got hit with a damn RICO charge. They reported it and then chose to report Trump is hiring a liberal lawyer who supported to defend him again. As if that fucking means anything. Almost to suggest that, even a liberal's defending him. It must be bogus. Oh, and would you look at that? Conspiracy theories in the comments about how they really don't want him to run next election because they know we want Biden out. And that same sentiment came to a head under this post, because these are the comments. They gave billions to Ukraine, but our own U.S. citizens get $700. Billions to Ukraine, and now all the $700. $700 ain't finna get them gas. You won't ever be president after these F-ups. Sent trillions of dollars to Ukraine, but not even your own country. Hold up, you sent almost $1 trillion to Ukraine? This seems planned. With every bone in me, I hope y'all don't vote for this clown again in 2024, if he runs again. Bro, you can't even take care of your own country, but you sent Ukraine trillions to Ukraine? Please don't vote for this dude again. Okay. Couple things. Level 1, what has Biden actually done? Shocker, it wasn't just $700. There are 300 FEMA workers on the ground right now. FEMA has now provided 50,000 meals, 75,000 liters of water, 5,000 cots, and 10,000 blankets to the people of Maui. FEMA has also activated a transitional sheltering assistance program to help people who were displaced find a hotel or a motel. The critical needs program to get people additional food, water, and other supplies was the $700 that was issued. Also, multiple federal agencies are on the ground helping out, including, we already talked about FEMA, but also the U.S. Coast Guard, the Army Corps of Engineers and the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, Biden ordered the military to help fight the fires and evacuate people. The Navy's 3rd Fleet was deployed to help out with efforts, as well as the Army, and the Marines are providing Black Hawk helicopters to help fight the fires. Also, Joe Biden made a disaster declaration for Hawaii, which frees up federal aid to support recovery efforts. That funding can be applied to grants for temporary housing and house repairs. It can also cover uninsured property losses, and it also is available to help individuals and business owners recover. The $700 was along with all this other aid. He didn't just throw $700 at them and say good luck. And this is steps he can take as the president right now, and that matters later. Level 2, since we're dogging on Joe Biden, and apparently some of you like Donald Trump so much, how would he respond to a crisis like this? I'm not gonna talk about COVID, because it seems like y'all have just conveniently forgot about this shit. This was Trump's response to Hurricane Maria. For y'all to not understand that... Wait a minute. You're saying we have an update? Oh, turns out I was wrong. Because this was Trump's response to Hurricane Maria. Not only did Trump officials block Puerto Rico from receiving hurricane aid, his administration then obstructed an investigation into why they blocked that aid. That investigation was looking into why about $20 billion in hurricane aid was withheld. Those funds were congressionally approved. Remember when I said it was important to realize that Biden is doing what's in his power? Because many of you hopped on Instagram and social media without realizing that in order for us to get hella money to Hawaii, Congress needs to pass a budget first. Anyway, back to Trump. His Offices of Management and Budget in 2018 began requiring extra procedural steps that weren't required before that stopped housing and urban development from being able to unlock the funds required from Puerto Rico in time. When investigators tried to find out why this was going on, they were denied information from housing and urban development multiple times under Trump. Trump's Office of Management and Budget also refused to comply. Mind you, this hurricane killed 2,975 people and triggered the world's 2nd longest blackout. Housing and urban development officials literally admitted to knowingly missing the congressionally mandated deadline to issue the notice that would unlock the funds for Puerto Rico. The head of it, Ben Carson, defended himself by questioning Puerto Rico's ability to handle the money you're supposed to give them. Meanwhile, Trump was opposing the funding, failing to acknowledge Maria's death toll, and is quoted as saying he did not want a single dollar going to Puerto Rico. On top of that, this ghoulish administration imposed more restrictions and more requirements in 2020 on how you could get aid in Puerto Rico. They claimed it was because Puerto Rico was too corrupt in how they handled their money, despite the fact that Texas and Florida had similar issues and their funds were not withheld. By the way, Joe Biden removed these restrictions. If we were just yeeted into a vortex where we had no recollection of his pandemic response and we have no clue that he's been hit with 4 indictments, one of them being a damn RICO charge, this shit alone is disqualifiable. None of y'all knew that, but y'all mad at Joe Biden right now. Level 3, but Ukraine! Firstly, how much aid have we sent to Ukraine? Is it billions? Is it trillions? It's 76.8 billion so far. The proposed 40 plus billion coming after we pass a budget bill, which would take it up to around 113 billion. Sounds scary, right? As a percentage of GDP, or the amount of money that Americans are generating in the economy, we are down here with all these other countries dedicating way more of their economies to supporting Ukraine. Secondly, why are we doing this? We can ignore the fact that many of you took Joe Biden to task over gas prices and simultaneously don't want us to be sending money to Ukraine, but the reason why the gas prices were so high was because Russia invaded Ukraine. We can ignore the fact that we're literally a part of NATO, a thing that was developed to stop countries from just raffle stomping other countries and taking them whenever, because, you know, World War II happened, which is why there's way more countries besides just us that are helping Ukraine. We can ignore how it makes us look on a world stage if Ukrainians are being invaded and getting killed by one of the biggest foreign military powers for no reason, and we're just like, fuck them, they're not Americans. If Joe Biden decides to do nothing, that means that after World War II, we still aren't willing to stop countries from just being able to walk into other countries and take them over. And if we aren't willing to do that, how's China feeling about invading Taiwan, something that it doesn't even respect as a country, if they're gonna face no resistance? And before you say, and I don't give a damn about no Taiwan, I hope you like Great Depression, because Taiwan is home to far and away the biggest, most productive, and most advanced distributor and producer of microchips, which is, by the way, why Biden wanted to ramp up production in the United States. And if China invades and we see a bunch of damages, which we will see, the worldwide production of everything from cars to the iPhone in your damn pocket could grind to a halt. Foreign policy is very complicated, which is why Shade Room and platforms like it just give you the clickbaited shit to get you riled up and generate attention for them, all the while generating narratives that promote a fascist with multiple outstanding charges who is critically inept at handling anything that is befitting of a president as a more reasonable option because Joe Biden gave $700. Google is free. Please utilize it.
Yo, man. Bra fucking Vo, man. This young man here gives me hope, man. Gives me hope. Because here's a young man who's like, yo, basically, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to look this shit up. I'm going to research this shit. I'm going to get on social media and I'm going to show you the research that I have. And then I'm going to articulate it in a way that you can understand it in about 6 minutes. right? Bro, fucking vote, man. We need more young. I'm an old nigga now. But, we need more young people like my man right here. We need more youngins like this one here. Right? We really do. We really do, man. Like I was, another thing I kind of wanted to lean into before we move on was, the last time I talked to y'all, we were talking about the Alabama, the shit that happened in Alabama, Montgomery, and the fight and whatnot with the, and we call it the Alabama Slammers and shit. I did my little remix on Lift Every, I did the Lift Every Chair and Sing shit and whatnot, right? And, of course, some of the discourse that happened after that was, you started seeing more and more folk talking about how we are not our ancestors, right? And one of the things about that particular thing, and I can remember there was a time even I was agreeing with that sort of sentiment, right? I want to say probably about 7 or 8 years ago. Even your man Spann was dumb enough to go out and get a shirt that says "I am not my ancestors," right? And oftentimes what tends to happen with that particular sentiment is that we believe that our ancestors were just getting their asses whooped. Right. We think about, the fight for nonviolent, like with Martin Luther King Jr. and whatnot, and his insistence on nonviolent resistance and everything else. And we believe that it's like our people were just out there just getting their asses whooped. And that was all they did. They not, like nobody was willing to go out here and throw hands. Right. And so when the Montgomery thing came about, a lot of folks were like leaning into that. Yeah, we're not our ancestors thing. And like I said, a few years ago, about 7 or 8 years ago, even your man Spann had a t-shirt that said that exact same stupid shit. Right? But ultimately, you start thinking about like, yo, and people start pulling my coat to it too. But like, yo, man, like that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful to not only the sacrifice, but also the strides and the efforts that your ancestors gave for you to do some of the shit that you are even allowed to do today. Right? And oftentimes, man, we'll have people who will tell us, man, shit, ain't shit changed, nigga, man. They still killing us out. The police still out here gunning us down out in the street, nigga. Ain't shit changed, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, they still out here, discriminating against us, nigga. Ain't shit changed. It's like, yo, man, I think you are, for one, misinformed, but also, man, you being very dismissive of the efforts that the people who came before you put in for you to even be able to move in a way that you probably would not have even been able to move prior to, had they not made some of the sacrifices that they did. I think we take it for granted for sometimes some of the things that we're able to do now that we probably wouldn't be able to do had it not been for some of those sacrifices and some of those fights and some of those stands that they made prior to us being here. We don't know any better because it's always been this way for us. We don't know what it was like for them. And for them to be able to make it to where we can even move in this way, right? Some of us live in neighborhoods that will probably never sell us a home prior to some of the sacrifices and some of the fights of the civil rights movement. Some of us are able to go to stores that we would not have been able to go to and purchase items had it not been for the sacrifices that those who came before us made, and the fight and the standing, and standing up for equal treatment. For me to be, hey man, my dollar is just as green as this white man's dollar, right? Some of these restaurants that we go into and shit, there was a time when you couldn't even walk in the front fucking door. Now you out here like, yo, man, like the service in here is terrible, right? But what you don't know is like, yeah, before they would have spit on your ass even if you tried to walk in the fucking front door. So it's disrespectful to be out here talking about I'm not my ancestors. And this actually kind of goes into kind of one of the things that I wanted to talk about last week before, I figured out that my mixer was on the fritz. But oftentimes, man, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. When I'm on this mic, I'm sometimes, and I know it's like, this, I'm not blaming anybody. If anybody should take the blame, it's me for like my inconsistency. If anybody should take the blame, it's me for not posting as often as I probably should. When I say I'm about to post and I don't post, man, I'm like, this nigga Spann, right? I know my life isn't necessarily the most like conducive to this shit, but I really love this shit. I put forth as much effort as I can to this because I love it so much, man. I don't get paid a dime to do this, man. I do this because I love it. And then I see so many people, kind of like dropping into this space. And oftentimes they get on this mic or they get on a mic and they don't believe the shit coming out of their fucking mouth. They'll say things that just drives up fucking, engagement, right? I want to say I had a falling out, but it wasn't a falling out. I think this is something that was a long time coming. And this is what I'm finding out, like something that I'm just finding out. Well, I'm not just not finding out, but this is something that I'm really, really like leaning into. Like, this is something I just cannot accept. Is that when I know that you know better, and I know that you are on these social media content creating airwaves, whether it be a podcast, whether it be a video, whatever, whether it even just be on social media. And I know you're saying some shit on there, some devil's advocate shit, some, when I know you're saying some shit on the microphone that you do not believe, I can't fuck with you. Right? I cannot fuck with you. One of the things that like, and this is some years back, but y'all remember who my mentor was in this podcasting game. One of the reasons we had our falling out, and one of the reasons I just kind of like separated myself from that, was because everything was devil's advocate shit. Everything was, this is what's going to get the people talking. Everything was controversy. Controversy. I couldn't say if the nigga actually believed anything he said on the mic. Right? I couldn't say that. And I'm finding like, yo, even amongst people that I know, right? Because I talked about this whole I'm not my ancestors shit. I saw a nigga that I went to high school with, who I went on black college tours with, who I went on historical fucking Chicago tours with as high school students, who I went with, like we went to fucking plays and, like I'm telling y'all, man, when I talk about my high school in Chicago, man, it was blackity black. And when I see this nigga today, I just like, nigga, what are you doing? And more often than not, he's just feeding the fucking algorithm. That's all he's doing. So he's on social media arguing that I am not my ancestors isn't disrespectful. And I'm looking at this like, nigga, I know you know better. And at a certain point, I gotta fall back. I gotta fall back. And I'll be honest with y'all, like when I'm doing these lives, man, and I'm looking at some of the numbers of, like, you know, when people watch back the live or whatever, or people when I go back onto the YouTube and shit, like, and I'm looking at the numbers, like, and the numbers are shit. Right? I'm not even going, like, y'all know me, man. The numbers are shit. The algorithm ain't feeding y'all this. But I'm also not clickbaiting y'all into no shit neither. When I get on this microphone, I say what the fuck I'm thinking, and I honestly believe in the shit that I'm saying. And I'm like, oftentimes I'm wondering, am I fucking doing this the wrong way? Am I supposed to get on this microphone and say some shit I don't fucking believe just so y'all can, like, yo, click this link, yo. Click this video. I'm saying some stupid shit, but click this shit, y'all. I'm gonna mislead y'all into what I'm gonna mislead y'all into what the fuck I'm talking about right now. But at least you clicked the video. At least you clicked. I've been doing this shit over a decade. Over a decade. And I do it still. Like I said, I do this shit because I love it. Not because I'm trying to get paid from it. Somebody hit me up on Instagram a little while ago, man. Somebody I went to high school with. Again, right? Chick ain't said nothing to me in about 8 years. She want to get into podcasting because, you know, she thinks this is the way to get paid. I ain't got shit for you, man. I ain't got shit for you. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. But every time, like when I see some of the things, like what people are talking about, what people click on, how people like go viral, whether or not that's something I'm comfortable doing, man, my integrity just gets in the fucking way. I can't do it. So when I put up a video on YouTube, when I put up a video on Facebook, and it's like the title is the fucking title, I'm not lying to y'all about what the fuck I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm not lying to y'all about what the fuck it is y'all going to hear when I get on this microphone and I put this podcast out. I'm not lying to y'all about shit. But if I don't lie to y'all, the shit doesn't move. If I don't lie to y'all, ain't no money's being made. That's wild, man. That's wild. We can't talk about no real shit. And the real shit actually move motherfuckers, man. I could talk to y'all. I mean, I could talk all day long about some flim-flammy ass shit about Christian and fucking Blueface or whatever the fuck Steve Harvey got going on, or I could talk to y'all about all of that, but I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. So why would I get on this microphone and talk to y'all about that, man? I don't care about that shit because it don't mean shit. It don't mean nothing. But this shit that really does affect us on the everyday, it ain't moving, man. It ain't moving. Donald Trump got arrested. The former president of the United States got arrested for the 4th fucking time. And we could talk about the mugshot and all that other shit. But he got arrested for the 4th fucking time. And you know what the media has done, or better yet, like even right-wing media has done? They said that Donald Trump is fucking more relatable to black people because now he has a mugshot. So that makes him cool. That makes him cool. Puts him in the realm of Tupac. Puts him in the realm of a DMX because he got arrested and he has a mugshot. You know how fucking insulting that is? I mean, real talk. Do you know how fucking insulting it is? As a matter of fact, the reason why I bring this up, because of course your man Spann tries to at least keep some what's the word that I'm going for here? Some supporting evidence of some shit, right? But the reason why I bring this up is because wait, let me see. I got a few different links here. Yes. Dinesh D'Souza. Let me pull this up so you guys can see this here. Let me share my screen. But Dinesh D'Souza gets on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter. And he says that in the urban black community, a mugshot can be an iconic symbol, both of victimization and greatness. If a defiant up yours to the it's a defiant up yours to the man. Think Tupac Shakur. Trump is now the ultimate gangster in our culture. First of all, Dinesh D'Souza is not a part of our culture. Second of all, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. But he wasn't the only one, though. He wasn't the only one. Let me stop sharing the screen. Let me pull this down. Because he wasn't the only one. There was another one. Nope, that's not what I want to pull up right now. Sorry. Where is it? Okay. So here's another instance though. So, the video isn't available. So am I going to have to view the original? Okay. That's not working the way that it should. And neither is that. Okay. So, live podcasting. Live podcasting. There was a, where was it, man? I know I had it. Here we go. Now, there was a shooting that happened in Jacksonville, Florida, right? A shooting that happened in Jacksonville, Florida. 3 black people were gunned down by a white supremacist in Florida. I don't even have to say how tragic that was. I don't even have to say how that's some shit that should have never happened. But also, I'm a realist, and I'm cognizant of the political rhetoric that is going on in the world. And I'm not surprised that yet another instance of black people being victimized by white supremacists is happening in these United States, especially in Florida, considering who their governor is, right? But the reason why I'm talking about this at this particular juncture has to do with the fact that you had niggas jumping on social media, and you know what? I'm gonna just play this, and you guys can watch right along with me. But yeah, check this out, y'all. Just check this out.
As we're seeing the response to the white supremacist terror attack that happened in Jacksonville, I'm starting to see a lot of politicians show up, especially in the Democrat Party, talking about, oh, it's heartbreaking, oh, the hate, oh, the guns, the same old rhetoric. I have responded so far on X to two of them, Representative Rashida Tlaib and also Representative Ayanna Pressley. And I told them, and I want all of you to take this message to any Democrat politician that comes out here talking, because since they are friends, right, and we vote for them. We don't need your thoughts and prayers. We don't need for you to be feeling sad. No, what we need is protection at the federal level. We need an anti-black hate crime bill that protects black folk. We do not need nothing else. Nothing. We don't need to be hearing about, oh, it's the guns. No, we need a protection. Because the majority of Congress, Republican and Democrat, voted to protect Asian Americans with the COVID-19 bill. They had no problem doing that. Biden had no problem signing it. So surely after Buffalo and after Jacksonville, we should get our anti-black hate crime bill, because according to FBI statistics, we rank #1 as victims of hate crimes every year. We rank that. So don't tell us about no thoughts and prayers. We don't want it. We need an anti-black hate crime bill. And I will tell any voters this. If the Democrats don't give an anti-black hate crime bill, they'll let you know what you need to do during the next election.
All right. Now, the reason why that is that's
the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No wonder you get D's and everything.
The reason why that's some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life is twofold. First of all, Democrats aren't even in control of the House of Representatives right now. So if the bill even is to come to the floor, is because Republicans who are in control of the House right now are the ones who are going to let that bill even come to the fucking floor for a vote, right? Second of all, it happened in a Republican state with a Republican legislature, and you trying to hold Democrats accountable for what Republicans are in control of. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my fucking life. The dumbest shit, right? Third of all, there's already been at least 3 hate crime bills that addresses crimes committed against black folks passed by the United States Congress. At least 3. What the fuck do you think? In additional, hey, we need one specifically for black folk. We need one specifically for us. Who the fuck do you think the first 3 was for? Right? Who the fuck do you think the first 3 were for? What was happening in America when they passed the first fucking 3? Why are hate crimes even a thing? Right? Why do you get additional time and enhanced time for having a hate crime attached to what the fuck you did? Because they already addressed this shit, you dumb motherfucker. They already addressed it. And so to be on social media talking about we need to hold the Democrats accountable. If they don't present this bill, y'all know what to do. Don't vote for Democrats. But hey, let's go ahead and let these Republicans who already trying to take our history out of the schools, who already trying to take our motherfucking our voting rights away from us, who are already trying to take our the bodily autonomy of our women away from them. Like, yo, let's vote for them, though, because they seem like they on the up and up. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. This is the dumbest shit I ever heard in my fucking life. You nigga. You know what? What? God damn. I can't even find my goddamn sound effect right now because I'm so pissed off. This is the dumbest shit. The fuck is wrong with y'all, man? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get this upset. I swear to y'all, I didn't. I didn't mean to get this upset. But it's this sort of shit, man. And I swear to y'all, it's because of the social media aspect of a lot of this stuff, man. People get on social media uninformed, don't know what the fuck they talking about, but they get on social media. I was in a back and forth with a young lady, and she's talking about some like, you went to an HBCU, you a black man, how dare you get up? Like, why you trying to talk this down? It's like, no, sister, this I see the long play going on here, right? They're seeking to disenfranchise you. They are seeking to nullify your fucking voice by getting you to turn your back on the one party at this particular moment, right? Because it's not as like there's like some like undying allegiance to the Democratic Party, but they're trying to get you to turn your back on the one party that does have some level of concern for your plight, to get you to somehow support the ones who don't give a fuck about you. I see the long play. I see the long play. And that's what's frustrating. Is to watch people just fall for this okie doke right here, man. Like this nigga here, I think he has like a pretty sizable following on YouTube. I've seen him on YouTube before. You know what I'm saying? This is on Twitter or whatever the fuck else. But like, I've seen him on YouTube before. I've seen some of his videos. But like, yo, man, like this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. This dude has a massive fucking audience. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. I'm going to hold Democrats accountable for what's going on in a Republican fucking state. The fuck is wrong with this nigga? Right? But it's not just him. It's not just him. Right? Let me stop sharing that. It's not just him, because he ain't the only one that said this dumb shit or talking this dumb shit. So Ron DeSantis actually had, he came out and he said some things about what was going on after the shooting or whatever else. And let's just, you know what? Let's just go ahead and play that. Let me pull this up so you guys can watch right along with your man Spann. Hold on just a second, because he got booed, man. Ron DeSantis, the people in Florida wasn't fucking around with Ron DeSantis. They're like, hey, get the fuck out of here. But they wasn't fucking around with him. Let's see what they're talking about, though.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is here. We're going to ask the governor if he would come now and bring remarks.
They already booing his ass. Already booing him.
Well, thank you for doing this. I want to just say to the councilwoman, I got you. Don't worry about it. We've already been looking to identify funds to be able to help, one, make sure there's adequate security for Edward Waters College. We are not going to allow these institutions to be targeted by people.
Why wasn't that shit already in place? You finding funds. Why weren't the funds already in fucking place? Fuck you.
Okay, listen, y'all. Let me tell you, we finna put parties aside, cause it ain't about parties today. A bullet don't know a party, so don't get me started.
Also, ma'am, ain't nobody talking about that man. Ain't nobody booing that man because of what fucking party he's representing. Nobody's fucking booing Ron DeSantis because of the party that he's representing. They are booing Ron DeSantis because this motherfucker is already telling you that, hey, you know what? The slaves came from Florida, or better yet, the slaves, period. They kind of benefit from, they benefited from slavery. They got some skills and stuff that they was able to kind of parlay that shit into when they got free, they was able to parlay those skills that they learned in slavery into their regular free life. Like fucking slavery was a goddamn jobs program. Right? Ron DeSantis right now is already signed into law that you can't teach black history in a way that makes white kids feel a certain fucking way. They can't feel any sort of discomfort about the history that they're learning because they don't want to feel responsible for what happened back in the day. And here you are on some, this ain't about parties. Fuck that. The reason why that white supremacist in Florida felt emboldened to do some of the shit that he did was because of politicians like Ron DeSantis, who has been talking about Florida is where woke comes to die. Anything that has anything to do with black folks is woke to Ron DeSantis. Right? Anything. He's changing the Black history curriculum. The kids can't even get advanced placement Black history in Florida. They done changed that shit all the way the fuck up. They are denying the kids the ability to learn what it meant to be black in America and Florida because the white kids will be uncomfortable. And here you are, after 3 black folks, they got gunned down by a white supremacist. And the people in the crowd know this dude here is responsible to some degree for the level of hate that has been aimed at our fucking community. You talking about this ain't about party. Yeah, it ain't about party, but fuck that nigga, man. Fuck him. They don't owe this motherfucker any level of goddamn respect. They don't owe this motherfucker any level of latitude. Fuck him. He needs to hear from the people what they feel about him. He don't need no black mammy. He doesn't need a black woman standing in front of him, condoning or chastising black people on how they should react to his presence there, considering everything this motherfucker has been advocating before this happened. He don't need you. And the black community don't need you to chastise them. Your respectability ain't about to save you here. It ain't. It just fucking ain't, man.
Okay, Jacoby is nice, but Ann is not.
Well, Ann need to get the fuck up out the way.
Now, if the governor wanted to come here and he bringing gifts to my community, y'all know I'm taking the gifts.
That sounds like some sellout ass shit. I'm not gonna even lie to you. That just sounds like some sellout ass shit. That sounds like some shit your community should have already fucking had, ma'am. Your community should have already had these quote unquote gifts. The fuck out of here.
Because we've been through enough already, and I don't want to go through no more. Now y'all just be quiet just a minute and let the governor say what he gonna say, and we gonna get this party started. You hear me?
What party? Man, 3 people just died. 3 people just died at the hands of a white supremacist. What the fuck party are you talking about?
Okay, let's do it.
So we have already identified funds from the state of Florida. I've been in touch with Dr. Faison. We're going to be announcing some stuff tomorrow morning, which I think will help.
And what the fuck is his wife smiling at right now? Again, 3 people were just killed by a white supremacist. Why the fuck is she smiling right now?
Not only with security, but also an attempt to help these families. The fact of the matter is, you had a major league scumbag come from Clay County up here, and what he did is totally unacceptable in the state of Florida. We are not going to let people be targeted based on their race. We are going to stand up and we are going to do what we need to do to make sure that evil does not triumph in the state of Florida. And that means we are going to work with Edward Waters so that they have whatever security they need. In Florida, we've already given a lot of money to Jewish day schools because they've been targeted with anti-Semitism. Well,
why didn't they already have what they needed? Why are they being targeted? Right? Like it's like this. Are we in the Twilight Zone, man? Are we in the Twilight Zone? Are we forgetting why these people are being targeted? This dude right here, this particular fucking dude right here, has the most hateful rhetoric going forward. Between him Trump and Vivek Ramaswamy, these are some hateful motherfuckers. But they want us to pretend as though we don't see the shit that they saying on the day to day in situations like this. Vivek Ramaswamy was on, well, we don't need to politicize. It's like, motherfucker, it was already political. It was already political. We don't have to politicize it anymore. It's already there. But like they talk to people like they fucking stupid, man. And this is the thing that like grinds my gears, because I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Oftentimes, man, they ain't that far fucking off.
Well, let me tell you this. You are not going to target HBCUs in the state of Florida and get away with it. We're going to hold you accountable. We're not going to let it happen. And we thank what everybody's done, TK, the mayor, and just know that the state of Florida stands with the community. Help is on the way. God bless you all.
Shout out to everybody booing his ass. Real talk. Shout out to everybody booing that bitch. But yeah, man, that happened. That happened. Yeah, I didn't go by I really didn't go by like, you know, how I thought I was gonna go with this here. I mean, I was gonna talk about the black voices for Trump and the motherfuckers being locked up, and you know, like I was gonna talk about them niggas. I really was, but yo, they still locked up, and like it's kind of like poetic justice in the sense of like, yo, man, you been out here. They basically giving these black niggas who are in like cahoots with Trump, they giving them the Herman Cain treatment, so to speak, man. Like you know, Herman Cain was a big voice for Donald Trump, even during COVID. Mocked the idea of wearing masks and, you know, and being vaccinated and everything else. This motherfucker died of COVID, and not one person from the Trump administration, not a Trump associate or anything else, came to like comfort his family or anything. They didn't attend his funeral, nothing. And so for there to be a Trump associate, Blacks for Trump person who was running that whole shit, after all those folks, 19 people got arrested in Georgia, and there's one black person still locked up, and it's one nigga still locked up, and it's the nigga still locked up on behalf of Trump, talking about he can't afford to get the fuck out. He can't afford a lawyer. They ain't even got like a fund for this nigga or nothing. Good for you. Good fucking for you, man. So I actually went a hell of a lot longer tonight than I thought I would. I really did. I didn't expect to be on this mic this much tonight, but yeah, man, I guess that happens when it's been a couple of weeks and you done had some shit piling up and like it's on your chest and whatnot. But yeah, it's almost time for me to get on up out of here. But before we get on up out of here, we got some comments. Hold on. GS28 said, keep on with it though. We're listening. Hey, brother, I appreciate you. And I know listen. I don't want y'all to be getting misconstrued. I understand that I have an audience. I have people who like want to hear what I have to say. I'm appreciative of each and every last one of y'all, man. I'm not saying that y'all are not enough. Trust me, trust and believe. I am not saying that in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm just talking about like the overall nature of what it is to be a social media commentator or content creator or whatever else, man. Like when you see what's happening and like when you see how people kind of grow their shit, and it's like, yo, I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that. I think that's where I'm at with it, right? I don't know if I can. I feel as though like my integrity means more to me than the clickbaity titles and the shit like just to get y'all to. I don't see it. Not for me. But I appreciate those of you who really fuck with your man though. I swear to God, man, I love y'all to death. And I appreciate y'all to my bones, man. I swear I do. So don't ever like I hope y'all didn't take that the wrong way. But like I swear to God, man, I appreciate y'all to my bones, man. Y'all really do kind of I don't know. I don't want to say y'all to win beneath my wings, but like y'all keep your man Spann going at it, man. Because like I see the numbers of the people. I see the numbers of the people who listen to the podcast. I'm talking about on some video shit and all this other stuff. But like, listen, man, I get it. I get it, man. There's so many different things coming at you. There's so many different things that are vying for your attention. So if I can get your attention for a little bit of time throughout the week, man, I'm very much appreciative of that. And I thank y'all for, spending a little bit of time with your man Spann, man, real talk. But I'm going to get on about it here. Some of this stuff, yeah, it can wait till later. I'm not going to go. Like I said, we've been on here a lot longer than I thought I would be. And shit, it's almost time for your man Spann to go to bed. I got to go to work tomorrow, man. Shit, I still work a regular job. They got to work a regular job. But before I get up out of here, let me remind you guys how to get in touch with your man Spann here at the Spann Report Podcast Network, the Mrs. Spann Official Podcast specifically, and let your voice be heard, man. Go ahead and hit up that hotline at area code 313-288-0485. It's area code 313-288-0485. Leave those voicemail messages. Of course, those messages will get played here and responded to here live on the show. You can also email us here at feedback@thespannreport.com. That's feedback@thespannreport.com. Go ahead, leave those emails, and of course, those emails will get read here and replied to here live as well. Follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter. Follow me on Threads. Follow me on Spill. Follow me on Instagram. My name on all of those platforms is Mr._Spann. So go ahead, follow me there. Chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week. Also, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and or Stitcher Radio. Those 5-star reviews are the ones that get read here live on the show. We really do appreciate everybody who goes about the business of doing that. Doesn't cost you a dime, just a couple minutes of your time to let everybody know why you're rocking with us over here at the Mrs. Spann Official Podcast and the Spann Report Podcast Network specifically. And also, go to our website, www.thespannreport.com. You can go there, watch replays of the show. You can donate to the show as often as you like, as much as you like. And of course, we really appreciate every dime over here at the Spann Report Podcast Network and the Mrs. Spann Official Podcast, man, real talk. But yeah, I don't know if y'all can tell, but your man Spann is tired, man. It's all in my voice and shit. But I'm going to get on up out of here. I hope to talk to you guys again soon. But until next time, fam, peace.